Hello folks, Kilt-Man here, and Kilt-Man is in urban terrorist, urban guerrilla mode. He's locked, he's loaded, he's got some firepower, heavy ballistic firepower. Why? Why, you may ask? Why? Because today we're going to celebrate one of the most brutal, one of the most relentless, one of the most fantastically friggin' awesome soundtracks ever to grace the thriller. John Carpenter, a young John Carpenter, after his first student movie, Dark Star, became something of a, a minor sort of, blip on the radar. He then turns his attention towards urban terrorism with the reworking of the fabulous Howard Hawks western Rio Bravo, the quintessential siege movie. Good guys, some who don't get on with each other, forced to work together in an enclosed environment whilst bad guys surround them and do their utmost to kill them all. So, it's South Central LA. The gangs are rife, as we're told in a kind of foreboding newscast voiceover at the start. A load of M16s and high velocity fully automatic weapons have gone missing, and as the guy says, if the people who have them get organised, nobody will stand a chance. And into this fray, you're going to have what's soon to be a closed down police precinct, Precinct 13. And there'll be a ragtag group of people who are going to have to just oversee its closure as the whole thing is just shut down. It's not a cop shop anymore. It will not act to serve the public anymore. They're just there as a caretaker thing, basically. Oh dear, are they going to wish they picked a different shift? Because into this fray becomes that gang who have all these weapons, who swear a blood oath, a cholo. They've slit their arms and become blood brothers. And after one of their gang leaders, one of their bosses, is killed, after he ruthlessly kills a young girl in the film's most infamous sequence, she gets the wrong ice cream, she goes back to the ice cream van. You all know what I'm talking about. I got a pistachio. This is regular vanilla. And Frank Doubleday, the awesome Frank Doubleday, sadly no longer with us, turns around and just goes, silenced Mauser, takes her down. Her dad, parked up the road, sees this. Excuse me, I have a cold developing because I haven't drunk enough whiskey lately, that's why. Her dad sees this and he's got a gun in the glove compartment. No, he hasn't. No, he hasn't. It's the ice cream man who's been shot. And the father runs down, finds this guy stricken on the deck, and the guy goes, as he's dying, in the glove compartment, finds it, gets himself a revolver, hightails it after these gang bastards, and then shoots the guy that shot his daughter, kills him dead, and then manages to flee to Precinct 13, babbling incoherently. And of course, in so doing, the wrath of the gang will descend upon that poor cop shop and the rather meagre people who are in there, including a bunch of convicts who are only staying there just to stretch their feet and catch their breath after being, a bus transport from one prison to another, including Darwin Joston as the awesomely named Napoleon Wilson. The guy, the most laconic, fantastic anti-hero you're going to get. Where's this come from all of a sudden? Bear with me, I will survive this. Possibly aided and abetted by a cup of English tea. Spilt that then. It's all the excitement. So anyway, let's cut to the music, because that's why we're really here. John Carpenter. Why does he score his own films? Because he's cheap and he's on time. And he scored this in 3 days with banks of Korgs and Moogs, and with his assistant Dan Wyman, and all these synth pads and synth drums, electric piano. They came up with, well, what has become one of the most influential and relentless, pounding, driving scores. That main theme with its infamous bass line. God, how many times did that get ripped off with a hip hop, and sort of, garage stuff, and DJs remixed it ad infinitum because it's perfect. And do you know where it came from? Do you guys know where that infamous driving beat and rhythm that you're going to hear came from? Well, it was inspired by Lalo Schifrin and his electro-funk score to Dirty Harry from 1970. But not only that, also from 1970, Led Zeppelin's classic anthem, The Immigrant Song. Now when I play it, you're going to hear those elements creeping in. And I think until you get told that those tracks inspired this, you never would have believed it. Or maybe you would. This has been released a few times in the past, this score. Now, most recently, we have from BSX, this one, which also has the soundtrack The Dark Star on it, of course. And it's been remixed, remastered, and extended very nicely by John Carpenter's longtime collaborator, Alan Howarth, who worked with John Carpenter on, I think, Escape from New York onwards. Escape from New York, Snake Plissken, my all-time hero. And of course, he worked on a few movies, but he's somehow gone back into most of John Carpenter's scores and done valiant remixes. Some don't like them. I love them. I adore them. I like the way that he makes them shinier, cleaner. He puts more colour to them. There's more little electro bits thrown in. But I'm not going to play that. I'm going to play the original from John Carpenter. This is a great one. Now this, as I say, it's the original one. The Alan Howarth version is extended and is glorious. And I was kind of torn, which one am I going to celebrate? And I play mainly, I'll be honest, the Alan Howarth version. I do. But I went back and listened to this for the sake of this video, the original John Carpenter track, and I thought, oh my God, you can't beat it. As I say, Lalo Schifrin's Dirty Harry, Led Zeppelin's Immigrant Song. This, what you're about to hear, is the bastard, brute force, hybrid offspring of those two fathers. Listen up, chaps. Let's get cracking. Brutal. That sustained line reminds me of a subway train. How addictive is this? The shift in tone. Irresistible. So simple, with so much power and depth to it. It's hypnotic. See that? In the background. That reminds me of, I'll pause that now. You know when you see a cat, and the cat's at the window, and you can see a bird outside, and it's going... That reminds me of that. Only this cat's got an M16. Anyway, so the gang lay siege to this place. They kill all the cops, and they kill most of the prisoners who were there, except for the awesomeness that is Napoleon Wilson. And the other guy, the black guy, played by Tony Burton, who of course is in the Rocky movies as Apollo Creed's, trainer. And they have to break these guys free to help them fight off these endless hordes of bad guys who are coming in. Napoleon Wilson's classic moment, of course, they're coming down at the hallway, they've broken through the back way, they've killed all the guards. You've got Laurie Zimmer, who plays a female secretary in the police station, and she gets shot in the arm, and then this guy's going to put a bullet in her head, but she manages to karate chop his face and hoof him in the balls with a tremendous, massive, explosion of air. My God, you fucking feel that. His nuts are crunched right up into his pelvis. Jesus Christ. Mashed. Down he goes. One goes into the cell. And Napoleon, they're trying to free them. Napoleon Wilson is in there. This guy comes in. Napoleon Wilson grabs his arm and does an amazing whoosh, snaps the arm and then grabs him by the fucking face and hurls him high, bang, into the bars. Boof. Fuck off. That is just real bone-breaking stuff. Then they're going to get back into the police station proper. They're going to get guns and they're going to fight off what is known as the second wave, which comes in. In fact, let's play the second wave now. Let's get into this. Here's that cat again. He's holding the door at this time. And he's going, they're coming down the hall. Give me a gun. Lieutenant Bishop, who's the guy who's been overseeing the transition, he's only been there for a few hours and the shit's hit the fan. He's trying to prise open these boxes because there could be guns in there, and he gets a shotgun and a sniper rifle out of it. And this poor guy's holding the door back, manages to sling him the shotgun, the door bursts down, blam, 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 takes him out. So you've got an ex-con who's doing life, who's been in chains, and he just goes, and just grins. But he's got a noble side and he will fight alongside the good guys. So now the gang lay siege properly. They're kind of crazy. Well, they are fucking crazy, aren't they? There's hundreds of them. They're coming for the windows, hence the title, The Windows. But they don't just creep up underneath the windowsills and try and prise their way in. They just stand in the fucking windows in total playing view, so they're getting popped off left, right and centre. I've just realised something. I say left, right and centre in almost every video I do. Psychological pattern. Sizzling. Just imagine John Carpenter sitting there with 10 ciggies in his gob. He's doing that now, he's touring now. Great little montage cut to this as each character fires off the last few shots that we've got. And this plays into the tragic track called Julie. She was played by Nancy Loomis, who was in Halloween and The Fog. And in the all the ensuing gun battle, they discover that they've got a casualty themselves and she's been shot dead. And you love all these characters. They're very lightly drawn, which of course is a trait of John Carpenter. But they're believable and they're eminently charismatic. And this is the tragedy of poor Julie. And it's a completely different tack from this relentless, insistent jackhammer. You know, it's peaceful, it's morose. Now I'm going to take you back to a couple of variations on that main theme. The first one is for Napoleon Wilson himself. Now again, Alan Howarth on his CD, his remixed version, massively extends this, and it's gorgeous. But I'll play John Carpenter's original. Setting the scene, you've basically, Napoleon Wilson and his cohort are about to be transported, and when all the authorities' backs are turned, you know, the warden, who doesn't like him, he goes, "You're pretty fancy, Wilson," and he's like, "I have moments." And then all of a sudden, like, as he's sitting in a chair in a cell, this bastard goes, boof, on the back of his neck, down he goes. The guy's coming, "What happened?" And then he just gets up, he goes, "I guess I don't sit down in chairs as well as I used to." When they're outside queuing up the prison bus, he manages to get the warden close, swings his chain around this guy, trip him up, pull the legs from under him, and as the shotguns get levelled to his head, he's like, he goes, "You don't stand up as good as he used to." "You're pretty fancy, Wilson." "I have moments." So let's get on to that now. Lots of cats. It's almost like a reed or a wood block effect. All synth, all pure synth. Slightly different incarnation. It's cooler, it's smoother. And then we get the theme for the gang itself, who are known as Street Thunder. This is a really scary, haunting sequence. They're just cruising down the streets of this semi-deserted, almost shanty-like borough. There's people down and out, sitting on the street, just drinking in the curb. People carrying grocery back, but like zombies, oblivious. And this car, this muscle car's driving up and down, and the window goes down, and a silenced barrel comes out, and through a telescopic sight, they're just aiming. They don't kill anyone here, but the point is they could do, you know, and it's cool, but it's sadistic. That riff is never going to leave your head now, is it? If you've never heard it before, it's more bellicose, this version. More throaty. In fact, you know what I'm going to do now? I'm going to go on to Alan Howarth's version, just so you can hear the difference in what he does. And in fact, what I'm going to do, because fuck it, you know, you can't have too much of a good thing, can you? And this is more than just a good thing. So let's get down to, this is his final, this is his version of the end titles, where it's just the main theme. But again, it's a remix from his already remixed main titles, and it's great. I believe, now listen out for it, I believe there's actual orchestral, real instruments playing in the second half of this, in the background, just enhancing some of these long sustained, or, you know, sizzles and beats, you know. Let's go on it. You will definitely hear the difference. My family. Some ritual they're performing in the other room. Sacrificing cats with machine guns. Different. More of an echo, more of a reverb on it. It's more rubbery, you could say. A little bit more organic. For all of his remixes that he's done of Carpenter's classic scores, Alan Howe has gone back and used emulators because he can't get those synths, those old-fashioned 1970s Moogs and Korgs anymore. Well, you probably can, but they don't seem to go. So he uses emulators which try to capture that sound. Another guy called Dominic Hauser does the same sort of thing, but to a much lesser effectiveness. And I believe he's worked on this remix, I think. I know, this is just sheer indulgence on my part, but they of course remade this movie, didn't they? With Ethan Hawke, and they kind of reversed it, which was a clever twist, where the bad guys were actually the cops. They were crooked cops. But the film wasn't very good. I didn't think the film was any good at all. Unlike this, which is so hyper stylized, linear, lean, cut to the bone. That's what you get with Carpenter. There's no fat, there's no gristle. I've got a treat coming your way. Tomorrow night I am seeing Escape from New York on the big screen. I saw Escape from New York on the big screen when it first came out. I know, so look at me, you wouldn't think it, would you? But back in 1981, I was only young, but I saw it twice in one night down in London, the week of its premiere. I've been hooked on John Carpenter ever since, and of course, Snake Plissken and Kurt Russell, my hero of all time. And I'm seeing it tomorrow night for the first time at the flick since then, and I'm wearing the entire Snake Plissken costume because I have it all authentic, even with the life clock. If I survive long enough, and I'm gonna film that as well. The bad guy who kickstarts all this, when it kills a little girl who then gets shot by the girl's father, played by a guy called Frank Doubleday. Frank Doubleday played a guy called Ramiro, after George Romero in Escape from New York. He's the guy, you must remember him, with the teeth filed into fangs and his hair in a big fright wig, and he presents Lee Van Cleef with the president's finger, Donald Pleasance's finger. You know, you're not back in the air in 20 seconds, he dies. You come back in again, he dies. You know. Yeah. I could play this all night. gives it more echo. It's playing in like a chamber. That's the effect he's giving it. So you can pick whichever version you preferred. But for sheer, you know, blunt, snub-nosed, in-your-face, you know, incessant, I'm having you, I'm having you, I'm having you. You can't beat John Carpenter's original version, can you? Anyway, folks, I'm going to leave this one here for the time being. And I'll be back with more Carpenter fun, more Carpenter music, more hyper-styled Kilt-Man excess. So, folks, you guys, be safe out there. Especially if you should find yourself in some deserted police station. Because you won't be alone for long. Anyway, guys, keep it real. Keep it Celtic. Try and keep it kilted, if you can. Which reminds me, the Royal Stewart. A classic. Guys, I'm going to see you later. I'm going to leave it there. So, have fun, y'all, and I'll see you later.